I have liked USC all year. I liked the way they played last week. Thought they'd beat Michigan. They did. Now they go on the road to Notre Dame, and they're almost a double-digit underdog. I understand nothing. Tyler Wojciak of Locked On Irish is here. I understand, Tyler, USC being the underdog in this spot. Notre Dame is a good team. They are one play in two games, or two plays if you add it all up, cumulatively, from being a one-loss team that no one would object to having ranked just outside or maybe even inside the top 10 right now. Instead, they're a two-loss team, and I get it. That's a big number, 9.5 points. Am I crazy?
It is a big number. I did not expect it to get this high, and it actually reminds me of the last time that USC played at Notre Dame Stadium. If you remember, Notre Dame fell to Ohio State in a heartbreaker, 10 men on the field, famous play. Then the following week, they have to have this dramatic comeback to beat Duke back when Mike Elko and Riley Leonard were still there. And then they got just smacked around by Louisville. And the season was over because by that point, they had 2 losses. We were still in the 14 playoff era. So they had nothing going for them. Then they had a bye week, and the vibes around the team were just really bad. And they were facing USC, who was undefeated at the time. They had Caleb Williams, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. And Notre Dame was favored in that game by like 7 points. I was like, what the hell is this? Everyone was like, how is Notre Dame favored in this game? They have 2 losses. USC is undefeated. They've looked great with Caleb Williams. And then Notre Dame just dominated them. So personally, I'm hoping for a repeat of that same game. But I'm with you. I don't understand how it's 9.5.
Yeah, and the biggest reason that I'm confused at that line, and anytime I see something like that, whether it's, which team is favored, or the line is that small, or the line is that big, but especially in this spot where it's, that many points, it makes me go, what does Vegas know? What are they trying to tell me? What are they getting? I don't know. The reason I am particularly confused, Tyler, is though it has rebounded in the last couple of weeks, Notre Dame's defense this year has not been nearly as good as it was a season ago. And this USC offense looks like the Trojans offense that USC fans were promised when Lincoln Riley showed up. And we've seen for large stretches of his tenure, last year was a little inconsistent, but Jaden Maiava has played very well. And this year, the biggest revelation is that USC can run the ball. And I think if you can run it on Michigan, you can run it on Notre Dame. And when this offense with Mekhi Lemon and the weapons, maybe Jacoby Lane gets back this week, if they are able to be balanced, I just don't know how Notre Dame is going to outscore them by 10 or more points.
Well, it does help Notre Dame that USC is going to be without their top 2 running backs in this game. But then they had the freshman King Miller, who didn't even play at all against Illinois, come in because they needed a body out there. And they actually got fined because they played another player who's considered out on the injury report, but they just needed guys. They were in such a desperate situation. But anyway, King Miller comes out there. He's from nearby in Calabasas, and I believe he was a walk-on, and he ran for 158 yards on 18 carries against Michigan. Now, I think that the Wolverines were so unprepared for him in the way that USC used him that they just had no answers. The difference for Notre Dame is they know he's going to be getting the ball. They have a week to prepare for him. So the surprise factor has kind of gone away. But I'm with you. When Lincoln Riley is at his best, when his offenses are really clicking, you go back to his Oklahoma days, it's because they can run the ball well. Like, even though he's an air raid disciple, his offense is at its best when they can run the ball consistently. And so far this year, they've been able to do that. But even though Notre Dame has struggled on defense for most of the year, or at least the beginning of the year in the most high-profile games, the one thing that they have done well, at one point it was the only thing that they did well, was stop the run. So if they can contain USC's run game and force Jaden Maiava to do everything, yeah, he's going to get some yards. Yeah, he's going to get some points. But I do think he's going to make some mistakes, and that is ultimately going to be the difference.
This is a great quarterback matchup. Jaden Maiava, CJ Carr has been fantastic. You and I talked a lot on the show about that quarterback battle all offseason, and CJ Carr won the job, and we have seen why CJ Carr won the job at this point. If Notre Dame had won either the Miami or Texas A&M game, as I thought they would, very rude of them to make me look bad like that, but I'll forgive them for now. If they had done that, I think we would talk about CJ Carr in the Heisman conversation a heck of a lot more, because Notre Dame's playoff hopes would be more reasonable. Obviously, they have to win out, and even then, I don't think it is a guarantee. But how do you feel about CJ Carr and Jaden Maiava? Because I can really see a game Tyler, that goes back and forth like 38-35, and both quarterbacks are just dialed as can be.
I'm with you. I'm actually looking up the Heisman odds on FanDuel right now, and CJ Carr and Jane Mayava are tied at plus 2,500. Carson Beck is the favorite at plus 300 right now, but they're not that far off. And here's the thing with CJ Carr. For one, it's hilarious that this was even a competition. I don't know what was going on in fall camp. Maybe that's an off-season topic you and I can investigate. Like, how the hell was that ever close, considering how well CJ Carr has played all season long? But there is an underrated aspect of this game that I've been talking about all week on the show. I don't think it's been getting a ton of attention. So Jane Mayava is in his third season playing college football. He started at UNLV, played as a true freshman, and then took over halfway through the season as a sophomore, and then he started for USC all year. So he's played a lot of college football, right? CJ Carr has started 6 games, and yet CJ Carr has already played in 2 massive games, first 2 games of the season, first 2 games of his career. And I look at Jaden Mayava, and I'm going through the games that he has played. He has never played in a game with this much at stake in his 3 years of playing quarterback in college football. And I think that matters, especially considering Mayava is going to be on the road. So, yeah, he has a lot more experience. He does not have the same amount of big game experience as CJ Carr does, which is crazy because Mayava has played way more than Carr has, and I do think that gives Carr an advantage in this game.
Was Mayava starting, had they made the switch yet when these teams squared off in Los Angeles last year at the Coliseum?
Yeah, and he actually played well. I mean, they were moving the ball. Notre Dame had like a pretty comfortable lead throughout the game. It was usually 2 touchdowns, and then USC would cut it to a score. But Notre Dame kind of had it going. They were running all over him. They finished with like 258 rushing yards in that game. But then at the end of the game, USC had the ball. They're down a touchdown. They're going in to score, and then Mayava throws the first pick six. Then they get the ball back, they drive right down the field, and then he throws another pick six, and then Notre Dame goes up by 3 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter, and that was game. They ended up scoring another touchdown late in garbage time. But he played well, but one thing about Jaden Mayava, he's due for like 2 to 3 brutal mistakes a game, and it's on the defense to take advantage of them. Last year, Notre Dame was able to do that. In the Texas A&M game, they were not able to take advantage of Marcel Reed's mistakes, and that ended up being the difference in that game. So it's very important for the Notre Dame defense to jump on the opportunities when Jaden Mayava gives them, because he doesn't give a ton, but he's going to give you a couple, and you have to capitalize.
I think the team that wins the rushing battle wins this football game. Jeremiah Love on one side, USC's running back by committee, and whatever is going to happen with that on the other. But USC's run defense, much improved. Michigan learned that last week. I know Justice Haynes got banged up, but typically I think that Michigan offense has been kind of plug and play. I think Haynes provides another level, but anyone has a certain floor of production, and I credit USC's defense for how they played running the ball. I think Notre Dame wins this game, Tyler. I am not putting this in my lock of the week. Best bet. Easy point. It terrifies me like no other. So I'll take Notre Dame to win. USC keeps it close, 35-31. I think this is like the Texas A&M game, but this time Notre Dame, battle-tested in that sort of environment, gets it done.
I'm laughing because I had the exact same score prediction this week. So clearly you've been watching and listening. You've been copying me. But let me throw something at you, though, that could impact my own prediction because I said 35-31 all week on the show. Keep an eye on the weather. It might be a factor. It's going to be an unseasonably warm day for mid-October in South Bend. It's going to be like 72. But the chance of rain is going up and up. Right around game time. And maybe even more important than the rain is that it might be really windy. I'm talking like 30-mile-an-hour winds. And even though Notre Dame Stadium is like kind of in ground, the wind can be a factor. If it's just wet, that's one thing. I think guys can kind of get over that. But if it's windy and the ball starts slipping and sailing around, who knows what could happen? Maybe Notre Dame is able to run all over them. Maybe USC has some bad turnovers, or maybe it's the complete other way around. So something to monitor here. I haven't seen any significant shift in the line. If the under just plummets, then maybe Vegas has an inside track on the latest weather report. But it is something that I am watching closely, for one, because I'm going to be there and I need to know what to pack. But two, I think that this could really impact the game if it ends up raining a lot during game time. If it rains during the day, They'll have it dried up. It's turf. They'll be fine. But rain and wind, not a great recipe for high-powered offenses, so we're going to have to see how that plays out.
The wind. It's 72 degrees in South Bend in mid-October. What, you guys busting out the sandals over there? I mean,
Dude,
goodness.
When I was a student there, the sun would usually disappear in like early October, and then we'd see it again during finals week of spring semester, which was always the worst possible time. And we're like, what is that giant bulb of light in the sky? It's burning me. So yeah, 72 in middle of October. I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be amazing. And then it's like, oh, it's just going to be soaking wet. That's not as fun.
Well, you know what? It'll be football weather one way or the other. And keep it, we gotta think. That's just all the more reason that I don't want to touch this game.
Yeah,
I'm just like, nope, stay away. Don't want it.
It's kind of screaming late backdoor cover where like
it is.
Notre Dame has 7-point lead, and then maybe they just kick a field goal to ice it with a minute left, and then they end up covering in a game that was back and forth throughout, and then you walk away like, how did Notre Dame cover a nearly double-digit point spread? And then it just, it's the laws of gambling, man.
Nothing could be as brutal as Incarnate Word in East Texas A&M the other day.
Yeah, I saw that Bad Beat segment.
The Bad Beat with Scott Van Pelt. That was legendary.
Gas station.
Legendary. So are they playing next to a gas station over there? It's unbelievable. Scott Van Pelt, a national treasure. So is Tyler Wojciak, Locked on Irish, great as always. Nebraska, please listen to me and listen to me now. You need to be so incredibly careful on Friday night.